You mentioned that you were cautioning Peter Obi to be careful about the coalition. I mean, there have been rumors going around that the PDP is trying to woo him back. Is that a fact?
Yes, it's our product. We want to get him back indeed.
Yes, viewers, you heard that right. And that particular statement don't cause serious wahala. This shocking revelation by Ibrahim Abdullahi, Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, made during a live segment on Primetime has left many Nigerians speechless. This is coming shortly after Atiku Abubakar's official resignation from the PDP, a move that has sparked serious political heat, not only within the party, but also across opposition groups. Honestly, the way these politicians they switch party like football transfer market is both funny and confusing, but that aside, let's break it down. Atiku claimed the PDP has derailed from its original vision, calling the party corrupt and directionless. He says his decision to join the new opposition coalition is because they are like-minded people chasing a common national goal. Reacting to this, Mr. Abdullahi shockingly said the PDP is actually receiving congratulations from Nigerians since Atiku left the party, and then he dropped the bombshell. He boldly claimed that Peter Obi belongs to them and intend at most to bring Obi back into the party. Omo, that alone raised serious eyebrows. Here's what he had to say on Atiku's resignation. Take a listen.
How consequential is the resignation of the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar for the PDP? He's a major departure, isn't he? I mean, it really must at the very least disillusion members of the PDP.
That's not correct, Mr. Charles. I don't think it comes with any consequence if he will be doing it the fourth time, like you did mention in the beginning of, do it at the background. He is a person who is given to, driving and pursuing his ambition with every vigor. And there's nothing wrong in the face of law. But we as a party are not deterred. We have not lost any sleep. Atiku Abubakar will be doing it the fourth time now. And if he said the other previous instances were not as justified as this present one, then it leaves much to be desired in his commitment to the party. But suffice to say, PDP is moving on. We are beginning to get our house together. If only you know the number of persons that are calling to congratulate the PDP for his exit, because a lot of persons who all along wanted to identify with the PDP, but were apprehensive of his involvement, for the simple reason that as long as he remains within the party, all the times he will get the ticket. It doesn't matter if the zoning favors the north. And a lot of persons are now calling across the strata, saying that now you people seem to be getting it right, and by the grace of God, you will cross the bridge for the first time. Since those of them who kept constituting clog on the wheel of the progress for running the party are giving way. So we bid him farewell, let him go and try somewhere else. I only pray he will not fail in his promise by coming back after the so-called coalition, hit the rocks, which is going to be the case ultimately.
But I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you're talking in sort of microcosm, specifically about him.
Yeah.
But there are bigger implications, aren't there? I mean, so many people have left the PDP. Some would say that the very soul of the party has been tremendously diminished.
That's not correct. I told you earlier that some of those persons are the ones that are exiting because they are standing in, Mr. Charles, in this very forum. In many of the interviews I have had with you, you did ask me in one of it if Atiku's insistence to run in 2023 did not divide our party substantially for his going to. And I did tell you at that time it probably did. But we expected him, having gotten the ticket for the presidency, to be able to manage the situation better, which we truly did not see in him. And that's why some of us identify with the G5, as it were, because certainly if you have the ticket, it's behoven on you to deploy all the arsenals at your disposal. Tinubu would not have lost that election, even if he was not contesting in PDP. Like we saw in 2023, he came from the ruling party and he sprang surprised, for his party, the APC. So many of us in-house expected that Atiku Abubakar would not celebrate the loss of Peter Obi, the same Peter Obi that they are rallying now into the coalition. We only fear and advise Peter Obi to be very cautious and careful because that's a contraption. One would not expect them to lose, Kwankwaso in Kano. We would not also have expected, as a presidential flag bearer, with that measure of experience, to have lost the G5 governors, led by Nyesom Wike. And even after the concession by Nyesom Wike, Atiku Abubakar was in the position to have pacify these persons, to be able to galvanize this support, to demonstrate how hungry we were to win that election again. Because all of the chances were there for PDP to take back, the soul of this country, at hand. But Atiku Abubakar bungled that opportunity because of a few elements around him who kept prodding him that you're already a president in waiting either way. And I'm talking about the likes of our former chairman, Iochia Ayu, and a few elements around Atiku who kept goading him on. That, look, you have won the election, don't worry, don't lose any sleep about this person. If only he had managed that situation carefully, chances are that PDP would have been in power today, and we would have taken back the control and salvaged Nigeria from this despair and despondency in the land. But it's unfortunate. So whatever you see happening around the PDP, substantially these people battered the problem, and if they are exiting, we've bid them farewell. I only wish they would not come back like I did say earlier. That's just the situation.
Now, to the funniest and most controversial part. This man confidently said Peter Obi is a PDP product, that they made him who he is today. Even if that's true, do you think Peter Obi will ever go back to PDP? Just watch this clip and tell me what you think.
You mentioned that you were cautioning Peter Obi to be careful about the coalition. I mean, there have been rumors going around that the PDP is trying to woo him back. Is that a fact?
Yes, it's our product. We want to get him back indeed, because he's a very, very, great capital for any political party. The truth of the matter, if he had not gone the way he did in the last, dispensation and proved that mettle to be able to generate over 6 million, in spite of the rigging and the frustration of his chances in many of the, states, Peter Obi is truly a political capital, no doubt about it, and every political party that will have the opportunity of getting him, it will be to their advantage. And certainly PDP is not losing that effort. We are also making that effort in the belief that in the fullness of time we might get him, and it will add more to the chances of PDP.
And finally, to the issue of Nyesom Wike, the so-called Mr. Talk and Do. Many believe he controls over 70% of PDP affairs. Ibrahim Abdullahi also addressed Wike's influence, the internal cracks in the party, and Atiku's claim that he is not joining the coalition just to contest in 2027. Take a listen to that part too.
And what about Nyesom Wike? Is he an asset or is he a drag on the PDP at the moment? I mean, he's straddling two parties, isn't he? Well, essentially.
That's right. The last time I checked, he's still a member of the PDP. He hasn't come out to denounce his membership. And even if it's coming with some disadvantage, like many have observed.
What kind of disadvantage?
A lot of persons will say that he is also another albatross, to PDP.
So the PDP would be better off if he packed his bags and left, basically. That's what I'm inferring from what you're saying.
Probably, because to be honest with you, those who stand against the chances of the PDP or have been doing things that will not promote the interests of the PDP are not necessarily within the PDP. And as a party, anyone who will constitute clog on its wheel of progress is better out of the PDP. So the PDP will get itself together and be able to bring back that, democratic hope for Nigerians yet again. So certainly if Nyesom Wike is not going to be to the advantage of the PDP, which many argue, then he can also bid PDP farewell so that he stand wherever he is and do his bid. But certainly the PDP will not have one person, and there's not a single person that has that capacity to put PDP to shame. Whatever they must have done, we previously had a committee in place, which we're still reviewing, to deal with those dissenting voices, those who have taken another decision and have done things that will amount to anti-party. And Wike is said to be one of them for the number of petitions we have received.
So why don't you just fire him? Expel him from the party?
Once the committee comes up with its recommendation in that light, certainly there will be no stopping us from doing so. We would get rid of them all. Right.
But I mean, it is the PDP, and you speak very confidently and very authoritatively, and I have to say very impressively.
Thank you.
I mean, for a party that many people believe is on its knees, I mean, is there any reflection taking place within because these are kind of bravado words that we're hearing from you. I mean, are you guys sitting back and really, reflecting on what is happening to the party, with Atiku, for example? I mean, that's just one person. The fact that virtually all the founding fathers and the original members are going or are gone, and so many people have lost faith in the party. I mean, one of the reasons Atiku gave for leaving is that the party has diverged from its foundational principles. That was the same thing that people like Emeka Ihedioha has said. That's the same thing that Dele Momodu said, who has just left as well. And a whole slew of others. I mean, they can't all be wrong. And I mean, according to Atiku's spokesman Paul Ibe, some PDP party members were now working openly with the ruling APC party. And this is one of the reasons that Atiku left. And you have to give it to him in terms of the potential credence of what he's saying. If you guys are allowing Nyesom Wike to remain in the party and is openly saying he's going to work to bring, I mean, you know, President Tinubu back. I mean, is that what is happening in the PDP, that they're openly working with the APC, or do you think that his departure is specifically focused, as some of your colleagues have said, on his quest to run for the presidency?
That's clearly it, Charles. There's no other reason. Okay, in 2006, when he left for the first time to contest under the ACN, was the foundational values of the PDP eroded at that time? When he tried again in 2011 against Goodluck Jonathan, even refusing the president then, sitting president, the right of first refusal, were the foundational values of PDP eroded at that time. When he tried again in 2015, went and supported the APC to bring Muhammadu Buhari in power, were the foundational values of PDP eroded. So when he goes now, he would find, this is what the lawyer would call an alibi, finding an excuse from nowhere, you know, to justify action. If he doesn't get his ambition promoted in the same coalition, it's as dead as a rival. He is not a member. All that Atiku is obsessed with is to contest for the president of Nigeria at all costs. And when a person begins to think that he's indispensable in a movement, then it leaves much to be desired, even in his sincerity, you know, in that mission. So by now, one would be expecting Atiku Abubakar to have called it off, to have, you know, raised some other successors to say, 3 decades after, he's still aspiring for the presidency. It mustn't be you. If you can't see anybody all along this, then it's unfortunate. So PDP is not losing any sleep.
Well, to be fair to him, we don't know. I mean, his spokesman said he didn't leave the PDP because of his ambition to run for president in 2027. He hasn't declared any ambition yet.
That is what
so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe by some fluke of chance, he might support someone else. I mean, you don't know for sure, do you?
When we get to that bridge, we'll be fair to him. But I dare him to announce tomorrow that he's supporting Peter Obi or any other person in that coalition.
Yeah, but the point is that it doesn't make things better for the PDP, though, does it? I mean, what can the PDP now say? Because beyond, you know, individuals, Atiku or Wike or Obi or whatever, what can the PDP now say to Nigerians is the reason to still believe in the party? Because all they can see is internal fights. I mean, you're sitting here, perhaps rightly so, but you're still sitting here. And I mean, it's all about, oh, well, this person or that person or whatever. And these are, you know, solid members, I mean, very sort of influential members of your party. What can you say to Nigerians is the reason to still believe in the party? Because all they can see is internal fights, fights that have bent and twisted the PDP completely out of shape, defections that have severely weakened the party, and it comes across as no longer being able to operate even as an opposition party, talk less of actually winning a national election.
I would respond by reminding you, Charles, that PDP is 27 years today, and the longest Nigeria has had throughout democratic experience, even if it is to be started from the First Republic. No political party has lasted within this period. And that was the period, 16 years of its managing the affairs of this country. Nigeria, as at 2015, when we lost power, was the 3rd fastest economy in the world, next to only Qatar and China, and the fastest in Africa, fastest growing economy. Nigerians must be reminded this, and then we will govern this country on a single digit inflation. We conceded, you know, the loss of power even before counting was over. We demonstrated statesmanship. We created democratic ambience and civil, freedom for Nigerians, for this democracy to flourish and thrive. We conducted elections and allowed the umpire, INEC, to dictate, the pace.
Well, some would argue against that.
Whether they argue, the last exercise was what we will use here to describe how...
You mean the 2015?
The 2015,
exercise,
where
right.
a sitting president could have, influenced the outcome, but he accepted and considered defeat and called on the victor, even before INEC officially, announced the result, to come, send his team, for transition proper. What is important for Nigerians is for them to reconcile the situation they have today with what obtained when PDP was in power. And you did ask earlier whether
was it I don't mean to interrupt you, and I apologize,
yes,
but was it actually the PDP or was it some individuals? Because what we're seeing from the PDP is that, and that appears to be the case with most parties in Nigeria, that they don't have a solid ideology, they don't have a foundation on which to stand. And basically, individuals come, they make a difference, the party piggybacks off that difference. But once you're no longer in power, it completely dissipates your energy, because that is what essentially has happened to the PDP. It lost power in 2015, and it has been a case of completely diminishing from election to election, right up to where you are right now. And people would argue that the reason for that is because the PDP doesn't have any foundation beyond winning an election and being in power, and then sort of revolving around the person who is sitting in Aso Rock. And given that you haven't been able to do that, I mean, you're essentially, tessellated.
It will not be a correct narrative for the PDP, because it will take a PDP for it to last even after losing power for a decade now. It's still there, and we are priding ourselves as we speak today with 10 performing governors who have carved niches for their states and who have stood out in the crowd relative to what obtains in the APC-governed states. So our governors have done so well, it doesn't matter if we are receiving a lot of pressure and influence of the ruling party APC for the few elements that are cowed, in their midst. Our people have still been speaking, and PDP is still not intimidated. We truly will come out triumphant. Some of the crises that we battled with, including the recent ones, we have come out of it, Charles, if you ask me.
As you can see, the drama no dey finish for Nigerian politics. From Atiku jumping ship to PDP claiming ownership of Peter Obi to Wike's alleged grip on the party, everything just dey scatter anyhow. But here's the real question: who is truly fighting for the people, and who is just playing politics for power? The 2027 elections may still be far, but the game has already begun. So let's be honest, can Peter Obi really go back to PDP? Is Wike the one holding PDP back or holding it together? And will Atiku's move change anything? Kindly drop your thoughts in the comments. I really want to know what you think. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and share with someone that follows Nigeria politics closely. Till next time, this is Toxicity, and you already know we go always talk as it be.